Said, hey guys, I've been tagged by the Video Game Junkie 99, and this is Bakemon13's Gaming Pretensions tag. So I'll put a link to both of their channels in the description, and also to Bakemon13's original video, so you can check that out as well. There are 4 questions to this, and these are questions that kind of separate the collector from the gamer, and separate me out definitely as being a gamer. To begin with, there's only 2 things that I'm really strict about in my collection. The first is that they work. You know, if I get a, I can't say get a console that doesn't work. You know, the controls, should be in good condition, work pretty decent, good playable controls, and the game should work. If I get something that doesn't work, obviously, I'm not doing with that. The other thing, the second thing is, while I don't necessarily have a real high standard, as long as it works and works well, I do insist that it be as advertised. If you advertise that the console works and it doesn't, if game that you say works doesn't work, I'm not going to take that. I'm just not accept it. If you tell me something's in mint condition and there's some damage to the label, I wouldn't care. But if you say it's mint, it better be mint. If you tell me it's complete in box and I open it up and there's no manual, that's not complete in box. And if I pay for it complete in box, even if it's a bargain at complete in box, if that's the way you advertise it, that's what I expect you to have. And when I got my Atari 2600, everything, the controls were supposed to be tested and everything was supposed to be working. And the one thing that didn't work on it was the game select. Now, I'm not knocking the vendor, because when I contacted him, he said, send it back to me. I'll take care of it. I sent it back to him, and I got the console back in a very reasonable amount of time, and he said, yes, you're right, the game select isn't working. I should have caught that, but I didn't. And he said, it's going to take a little long to fix. I can't get it fixed right away, and rather than keeping you waiting, I've got another console, and they're shipping out. So, it was just as good as what the first one should have been, and everything works on it. So, I don't hold that against it. Anybody will make a mistake. Things happen. And as long as you make it right, I don't care, as long as you make it right. But I do either expect it to be as advertised, or else you make it right. Second, how do you feel when you get a loose game? Well, that's practically all I get for my Atari 2600, my Nintendos. I do try a little harder with if I'm going to get a Sega Genesis or a Master System game, mainly because they're easier to find in box. But, it doesn't bother me at all. I get the games to play, and, if I've got a game and I'm playing it fine without the manual, I don't really need the manual, there's very little chance that I'm going to go out and get another copy of the game, complete in box. If it's a game I really want, or if it's a game that I can't find a manual for online, and it's one that would really help to have a manual, I might get one complete in box and then sell my loose cart. But it's not a big deal with me. Number 3, how do you organize your collection? Just about not at all. I do more or less keep them separated by console. So I have, as you've seen before, I've got all my consoles sitting over there on the tables, at least as many of them as I have room for. If I get a couple games for my PlayStation, or if I get another console here or there, I'm not going to have quite enough room, so I'm going to have to take some off and put some on from time to time. But I just have them over there, and then I have them in boxes or stacked. If I just have a couple games, they're stacked next to the console. If I have more games, they're in a box, just for that console. So that's just about all the organization is, to have them by console. Number 4, if you get a sealed game, what do you do? Do you open it or leave it as an artifact? I open it. Well, I haven't got a sealed game yet, but if I were to get a sealed game, that's what I would buy it to play it, So the first thing I'd do is open it and play it. I mean, I suppose if it was a somewhat rare game and, you know, I had it loose and then I also could get it, you know, sealed, complete in box, I suppose there's a chance I might get it, but it would be a very small chance, you know. I'm not, you know, like I say, I'm not that bothered about collecting, so I'd you know, if I were going to get a sealed game, I'd get it with the intention of opening it and playing it. So those are the 4 questions, and I'm not going to tag anybody in particular, just leaving it as an open tag that anybody wants to join in on. And as always, more later.